Here's your news for August 27th, 2020. And your headlines for today include: WWE has finally figured out a way to prevent fans from displaying obscene images during Thunderdome shows. Wade Barrett sticking around on WWE NXT commentary team, but what's the real story? Suspended WWE wrestler returns. Bray Wyatt sends message of forgiveness to Goldberg. Is WWE planning to bring back Goldberg? Former WWE Tag Team Champions returning soon. Funny reason why Vince McMahon changed Keith Lee's gear on WWE RAW debut revealed. Finally, Keith Lee is getting new music at WWE Payback, but why? WWE star breaks character and sends a classy message to Seth Rollins. WWE teases split in the Undisputed Era. Yet another former released WWE star joining AEW. Unexpected development in Sonya Deville's trial. What's next for her? Huge sacrifice of a WWE wrestler is revealed, and more. And we're kicking off today from inside the Thunderdome, as WWE has seemingly found a way to deal with inappropriate fans. Over the past few days, one fan was banned for displaying a sign saying that the Dream should be fired during SummerSlam, whilst this week's Raw also saw an image of Chris Benoit and a KKK rally be displayed in the seats. On Wrestling Observer Live, Bryan Alvarez said that the company will only use trusted fans to be shown in front of the hard camera. It's unclear how WWE will find these trusted fans, but we assume that those who have already appeared on the hard cam without any issues will be more likely to be welcomed back. One of WWE's trusted superfans, Rich Ackberger, better known as Sign Guy, could be spotted on the hard camera during this week's Raw, and fans can expect to see more of the same faces in the coming weeks. Over to NXT, and after returning to commentate on this week's show, it looks like Wade Barrett will be sticking around. During the show, Karrion Kross relinquished his newly won NXT title due to a shoulder injury, and in the second hour, William Regal announced that next week, Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor, Tommaso Ciampa, and Adam Cole will compete in a four-way 60-minute Iron Man match for the vacant title, a match so big, Barrett said he'd be back to see it. It's worth noting that the former Intercontinental Champion hasn't signed a contract with WWE, at least not one that we're aware of, and it's unclear if he'll still be around after next week's show. Despite speculation that he'll remain a commentator, there are strong rumors that Wade will eventually be back in the ring, as Vince was high on the British star for years. Regarding Kross, ESPN reported that his separated shoulder happened when Lee delivered a clothesline near the ropes at TakeOver 30, one that Kross's shoulder took the brunt of, and though Kross was originally optimistic, the injury is clearly more severe than first thought. It's unclear what the situation is with Mauro Ranallo, as neither he or Beth Phoenix were on this week's show, as whilst it was reported that he needed to go back to British Columbia for something prior to TakeOver 30, fans can expect more of Barrett for the time being, on a special Tuesday edition of NXT next week. That wasn't the only big shock from NXT, as Austin Theory returned to the Gold brand this week after a promising stint on Raw. Despite appearing at WrestleMania and joining Seth Rollins' stable, Theory hadn't been seen since June, serving what was called an unannounced suspension after he was accused of misconduct. In a recent interview, Rollins said that the 23-year-old had some personal issues that came up, and now Theory is back as he showed up on NXT and set up a program with Bronson Reed. WWE never commented on the claims made against Theory, though they didn't receive as much attention as claims made against several NXT UK superstars or Velveteen Dream in NXT, and we'll have to see what the future holds for Theory and how fans will respond now that he's back. This week's NXT also saw a huge title change, as Breezango have captured their first ever tag team titles. After winning a shot at Imperium during the TakeOver 30 kickoff show, that title match happened tonight. And despite Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner being a well-oiled machine, it was a series of super kicks by Breeze and a top rope leg drop from Fandango that got them the win, followed by a commentary desk celebration near the bemused Wade Barrett. With NXT UK returning, it's possible Imperium will be moving back over there, and will be spending less time on Wednesdays. This marks the first titles for both men in WWE, and with a combined over 2 decades in WWE, this title win was long overdue for Breezango. From one title to another, as new Universal Champion Bray Wyatt has sent a message of forgiveness to Goldberg. On Twitter, Wyatt said that they had fixed it, whatever it may be, and after forgiving the Hall of Famer, advised him to stay away from the Fiend's red light. This interaction follows on from the pair's past when Goldberg crushed Wyatt in under 3 minutes at Super Showdown in February to win the Universal title, though Wyatt didn't sell the jackhammer. Time will tell whether Goldberg listens to Bray's advice, as we know that the WCW legend is contracted for at least 2 matches a year, making another encounter with The Fiend a possibility. Now, it's been a while since fans saw the Usos in action due to Jimmy needing knee surgery, but now it looks like the pair are ready to return. Though Jey Uso has been around, the company haven't featured him much, but on Twitter, the former tag champions told every other team that an Uso countdown has started. The Usos didn't reveal when they'll be back, though it's obvious they plan on being back in the ring as soon as possible, though this entire situation depends on Jimmy's knee injury and just how speedy his recovery goes. Over to AEW now, and not too long ago, Jon Moxley took some time to film a movie called Cage Fighter, and now that movie has a shot at being seen by a wide audience. Deadline reports that Cage Fighter is slated for an October 9th release date, and Screen Media has picked up the film, which opens the doors for the indie to reach a much wider audience. In it, Moxley will play Randy Stone, a wrestler booked in an MMA company's first ever cross-promotional wrestling versus MMA event. Moxley has previously said that although he enjoyed filming Cage Fighter, Hollywood isn't his full-time destination, as whilst Cage Fighter will now be seen by more people, the world champion seems more than happy being the top star in one of the world's biggest companies. Back to WWE, and fans weren't happy when Keith Lee received new music and gear for his Raw debut this week, and now we know why this change was made. On the latest Dropkick discussions, Tom Colohue explained that Vince McMahon likes to have something of a clean slate when the star is called from NXT to the main roster, and added, "Essentially, the WWE believe that what he has now is better than what he had on NXT, so they expected people on social media to say, 'Oh, this is great.' And as part of that, about his music, this music is new, it's exciting, let's get people talking, let's make sure Keith Lee trends." And Keith Lee did trend, not necessarily what they were going for. It was also explained that Lee must have approved his new ring gear, as it was made a couple of weeks ago, and after Lee promised fans that he'll take care of both matters, hopefully the Limitless One's main roster run will be smooth sailing from now on. We are looking ahead to Payback, as Lee will face Randy Orton this Sunday, and it's been confirmed that he'll have new music. Arena Taping reports that Lee's new theme will debut this Sunday with lyrics from Sergio Veneno, and this comes after fans started multiple petitions to give Lee his theme used in NXT. Whilst that's not happening, there are many fans who'd prefer anything than what he used on Raw this week, and we'll have to see how this new song stacks up against the Limitless One's NXT entrance music. Now, the Retribution stable have been causing havoc as of late, and plans backstage seem to be equally chaotic. While fans have plenty of theories as to who could be under the masks, Ringside News are reporting that the company still hasn't decided on who will be revealed, and that this idea from Vince McMahon was done on a whim. One source inside WWE told the site, "We're winging it, as it seems that anybody could be under those masks at the moment." Though names like Dio Maddin, Dominik Dijakovic, and Mia Yim have all been rumored, the source neither confirmed or denied those names being Retribution members, saying, "Possible? Yes. Definite? No way." It sounds like WWE's creative team have a difficult job deciding who will be revealed as part of Retribution, and given reports of Vince McMahon tearing up scripts, things are understandably very tense backstage. Over to Impact Wrestling now, as AC Romero is a big man, and whilst you still don't want to mess with him, he's now quite a lot smaller. On Twitter, Romero revealed that he tried to lose some weight recently, and after tipping the scales at 475 pounds at the start of his journey, now weighs in at 376, having lost 99 pounds in 114 days. This is a huge accolade for Romero, and we can only imagine that his newfound agility will benefit him as well. And with his health and mindset improving post-weight loss, we'd like to send our congratulations to Romero for his huge accomplishment. Back to WWE now, and whilst they may be bitter enemies on screen, Dominic Mysterio recently had plenty of praise for Seth Rollins. Appearing out of character on the Gorilla Position podcast, the 23-year-old said how Rollins has been nothing but helpful and kind throughout this feud, and added, "He's a master at his craft. I couldn't think of anyone else to have a debut match, anyone better than Seth Rollins. I'm very thankful for him." Raw's main event, which saw Dominic and Rey Mysterio face Rollins and Murphy, was cut short by Retribution, and though it's unclear where things will go from here, Dominic has shown tremendous promise thus far. Back to NXT now, as this week's show saw WWE tease a split in the Undisputed Era. After Kyle O'Reilly defeated Drake Maverick, Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong encouraged him to join them in attacking Maverick post-match, something that O'Reilly eventually did, after plenty of hesitation. There's also been rumors of O'Reilly splitting from the group to pursue a singles push as a babyface, as it seems the cracks in one of NXT's most dominant stables are starting to show. Back to the main roster, and after 2 weeks of 2 pay-per-views, SummerSlam and Payback, the company is taking their time for their next pay-per-view outing. Clash of Champions was originally meant to happen on September 20th, but has now been pushed back to September 27th, according to PW Insider. It's unclear why the change happened, but now Clash of Champions will get more time to build before it takes place in the Thunderdome next month. Over to AEW, as Eric Rowan has teased joining TNT champion Brody Lee. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet, Rowan said he and Lee have always been joined at the hip, and said he's sure the two will do something in the future together, and we'll have to wait and see whether this reunion happens in AEW. We've got an update in the Sonya Deville situation, as the judge looking over the Philip Thomas case has blocked the media's access to evidence. This block also includes any video footage and messages that were sent to Deville, and although this is a big blow to the local media in Florida covering the case, blocking this info getting out is the safest course of action for Deville, who's been through enough already. Now, it's no secret the New Day are as tight as it gets, and on their podcast, Big E revealed just how selfless Kofi Kingston is. Speaking about the Hell in a Cell match against the Usos, Big E said how Xavier Woods wanted to be in the match, but it was Kofi's turn in the rotation, before saying, "It was Kofi's turn to be in the match, but he selflessly said, 'Hey Woods, I know this is important to you, you're gonna be in the match.'" Big E added that Kofi has decided to step away from the opportunity to shine big, just to willingly let his partners have an opportunity, as it's clear that for Kofi Kingston, nothing, not even big pushes, are worth more than his friends. And we're ending with news from AEW, as Chris Jericho has done it all in wrestling, and sadly, that includes seeing his friends die too soon. On his latest special, the former world champion was asked about what he'd say to Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit if given the chance, and replied saying, "I don't know what I would say to Chris, but I know to Eddie, I'd say I miss you, wish you were still here, and you've got a great couple of daughters, and you've got a great wife, and everybody loves and misses you. So that's what I would say to Eddie." Both men died under very different circumstances, as whilst WWE will always celebrate Eddie's legacy, Benoit's actions during his final days have caused WWE to blackball his name entirely, and hopefully Jericho won't see any more of his friends in the wrestling world taken too soon.